there will be a point in this journey where you will want, or everything in you will want to pull back when you are trying to be your authentic self, when you are trying to be authentic in your business. And to be honest, I love the frequency or the timing of these videos because they are really talking to me in my journey. And the past couple of days have been hard. And I've been also like going a little bit back into old habits, getting drawn into those negative things. So the awareness that we can create for ourselves, for me, doing something like this, doing these videos are amazing, to be honest. And the reason that everything ends up pulling back towards the old me, the old business, it's not because I don't care. And the same for you. It's not because you don't care about that new goal, that new thing you want to do. And it's not because we're lazy. It's just because it feels heavy. It's hard. It's hard to do something else. It's hard to change your life, right? And I'm like I said, right there with you. I'm in that moment too. And today I want to talk about what happens when you don't escape, or we don't escape, when we stay in the moment, when we stay and fight for what we really want, the new things, and when we stay in the uncomfortable, choosing to stay in the situations that we know have a better outcome in the long run. And in my experience, this is actually the part that you don't find information on a lot of times. It's the part that people really just skip through. And that is one of the freaking reasons I created this YouTube channel in the first place. It is to create that honesty and to actually be focusing on how to get through this, both for myself, but also helping you through this period of hardship and where it's heavy and it requires the work and it requires not giving up. In the last video, I talked about the mistake that most entrepreneurs do when they try to be authentic and live authentic, create an authentic business. And that is trying to remove the discomfort instead of staying in it and working through it. And this video is going to be about that other choice, like the quieter one, the one where we pull ourselves back and grind and focus on that positive outcome in the other end, at the other end, whenever we want it to be. The harder choice, right? The choice to stay in it and the choice to fight for ourselves and our businesses. And just to be clear here, I'm not talking about staying stuck. That is not what we're going to do. I'm talking about staying present and staying intentional towards your goals and about staying aligned, even when it doesn't feel like that's what's happening. And even when it doesn't feel like this is actually getting you towards your goal. I talked about a few videos ago celebrating 20 subscribers and I was so happy, and I'm still at 20 subscribers, right? And again, it's like nothing is moving, but it is because I'm moving. And the thing is, staying doesn't look dramatic. It's not like you don't stomp your feet to stay. What it does look like is continuing when the momentum is low, making decision without immediate reassurance, repeating actions before they feel confident and comfortable even. They're gonna do. They're gonna someday. And choosing alignment over relief. You might already have guessed it. For me, staying looks like showing up for this channel. It looks like being okay with filming a video when my dog is being very, very attention seeking. And it's also even on days where I question myself, like today. I'm so happy that I pre-recorded a few videos this past weekend because otherwise the daily video would not have been a thing this week. But that's about planning, right? And knowing that life is going to happen as well along the way. And being aligned and living up to my authentic self is also about keep going, even when it's easier not to. I have to say, I did consider multiple times today if I were going to make this video. And preferably, I would have loved to record videos in the morning because much more energy, much more time during the day to do all the other stuff that needs to get done. But Right now, it's almost 4. And yeah, it's not the easiest thing to do to sit down and record a video like this. But I'm also in a phase where I want to keep going. I want to stay aligned, even with an annoying dog. And it's because it's not about forcing myself to do anything, really. It's actually about not abandoning myself and my business and my values and what it is that I really want to achieve with this channel and with my life and with my business. And here's the thing that most people miss, and probably including me in the past, that when you stay, when you do the hard work, when you make the videos, when you make the outreach, when you do all of these hard things, nothing explodes overnight. It's not a overnight success, but something subtle begins to change. You stop, you change, or I change, we change. You stop needing constant validation from others. You start trusting your decisions a little more, and you start feeling less reactive. Even though things are still uncertain, this is one of the feelings that, even not that far into the journey, I actually like, because I stopped and listened to myself. So instead of just reacting to the initial feeling or thought, then really thinking about that. That sounded weird, but the idea was there, right? So not just reacting, but actually choosing your actions. And it's not because everything is solved and that you reached your goal, but it's because you're starting to feel more comfortable in that state and in that unstable environment that you're in right now, and feeling more okay with the uncertainty of it. And that is not motivation. That is leadership. This is you taking the reins of your life and your business and your choices. And this phase is hard because rewards are internal more than and before they become external. And we're today so much more attuned to external rewards than the internal ones. And we need to stop and notice those. And the amazing thing is that you're building self-trust before results, identity before momentum, and stability before scale. It doesn't really matter to scale something if it's not stable in the first place. It gives a very shaky baseline. And the thing is, all of this can feel super unsatisfying in a world that tends to celebrate the visible wins, to celebrate the things that are external more than internal. One of the things that I wrote in my wins for today was that I was proud of myself. Right? And that's probably the biggest win, really. Sometimes it will feel like you're doing all of this work for nothing, but you're not. You're actually in the process of building the foundation, the part that's going to hold what comes next, so that we can have that secure base for our future selves and our future businesses. And honestly, there are still so many days where I don't feel clear. There are for sure days where I feel like, am I really doing things right here? I have no idea. And there are days where I would love more certainty. But I also know this, that every time I stay, every time I act in an alignment, even when it's uncomfortable, I reinforce who I'm becoming, who I want to be, what I want my business to be. And that matters so much more than what it looks like today and what's happening right now. When you stay long enough, something real happens. Your decisions become cleaner and your boundaries are going to feel less forced. And your business is going to start to reflect who you are, not who you thought you had to be. Not because the discomfort disappears, but because you grow big enough to hold it. And that is when alignment stops being fragile. So if things feel a little bit heavy or even a lot heavy right now, that doesn't mean that you're doing things wrong. It doesn't mean that you're on the wrong path or even that things are not working out. It simply just means that you are in the beginning of building something real and something meaningful to yourself and to the world. And real things take time. And if you're on this journey to trying to build a business that makes sense to you and to the people around you, then subscribe, join the journey, join the channel here, and let's build together. Because this channel is about the journey. It's about walking the path. It's not about arriving. Well, it is at some point, right? We're going to arrive at some point. But right now, we are going through the weeds together. So let me know as well. Who do you want me to interview here? What do you want to know about my business, about in general in business? Is there anything that I can bring up to you that would be helpful? I would love to hear that in the comments. And I'm going to say, with joy and excitement, have a fantastic day. See you in the next video.